right now. As I gave everything in writing, so I'll continue to what the last speaker said. I'll start by saying that we believe we have no right to give up, to renounce, to complain all the time. And as our actor said, we as teachers have no rights to say that others are to blame, not us. I'm lucky because I represent the institution of school, an institution that has been undermined and vilified, humiliated. I'm quite used to do training courses, but among teachers, among trainers. So in that context, in that environment, weaknesses of the system, as you can understand, they float above at a very high level. They are there. So in this diversity, in this context, we are here today. Well, it is obvious that we need to make many, many changes, and we are still facing many challenges as formal schools. I'm lucky, I'm immensely lucky to tell you that I'm very much in love with my institution, with schools, and they love us. They love me too. And this mutual affection has to do with a compromise, with an identity compromise that is thinking about the future. I'm part of a group of people that reflect, that think, in order to look for alternatives to all the needs and challenges ahead. We are an innovative team that has this slogan, our tradition is the future. And from there on, I'll be really brief. We've gone through a long path. In 1720, the founder, Juan Bautista de la Salle, wrote a document, a book, called A Guide for Christian Schools. That was the first document where things such as what to do when the teacher gets in the classroom has to be done. So he describes all actions, hundreds of pages. He describes which are the qualities that every good educator must have. He describes what's the role played by the person that trains teachers, who are the courtesy, rules, protocol, etc., etc. He painstakingly describes all those issues. So it's a good reference, in my opinion. School is an institution whose DNA is a concern for what's going on around us, about society, about local issues, local concerns, all the problems that surround us, what's going on around at any moment, and of course, what are the needs and the changes we need to make for our students to be better persons in the future. I haven't been working for the last 300 years in the institutions. I've only been there for 25 years, which is more than enough. But in this last quarter of a century, I shared a real concern. Those concerns have to become occupations, things that are efficiently tackled. So that's where we are nowadays. So you never end up learning, and there is still a lot to share, a lot to learn jointly. I'll give you some more data. Any hallmark, any achievements we've made, they can be summarized in this. The main concern, the focus at that time was what to teach, how to teach, who must teach, etc. That was back in the 1970s, dehumanized education topics, etc. So we've gone a long way from that. There was a turning point, and without leaving aside this part, the trainer part, we have focused more to the what to learn and how to learn, instead of focusing only on the trainer. So everything that derives from research, good practices, new theories, neurosciences, and many other disciplines that necessarily should be present at school by a must faster means, they are some of the pillars for this new revolution that is awaiting us, continuous revolution in the curriculum design at schools. And, of course, we need to discover the potentials of all those students that are proving that every day. They express it in different ways, not only at school. We at the institution speak that it's high time to look for something, to find something that helps us unify, harmonize everything our students do in a single backpack, because up to now they had two backpacks, that is that of life and that of school, and they tend to be separated. So the moment they arrive at school, they leave at the front door the life backpack and the other way around. So we want to harmonize, to link both, so and live a world of intuitions, of perceptions, of risks. That's our main aspiration at La Salle. It's also been pointed out that change, is indispensable. There is no other way to interpret it. We need to face new challenges. There are no buts, no howevers. We need to face it, so with better, face it. And changes are taking place at an exponential speed. So our playwrights or our actors missed a train, and we've also missed that train, and it will be more difficult for us to catch up because they are much more energetic than us, older people. So with better, start moving and working, looking for alternatives, investing all our forces, all our energies to keep on working and work jointly. There have been many attempts on our part. This is a list of programs that are being implemented in Spain and Portugal. They entailed a big challenge for us. Those programs are the result of a deep reflection process involving teachers, always with a final aim. When I spoke about needs of our students have needs that respond to their potentials, to the future they will need to face, and there are some other needs related to diversity, and school should be an integrating institution. But we are all diverse. They are not only a bunch of people that are different. No, no, no. Diversity lies in us all. And that's the only way to develop certain competencies. Yes, and I'll conclude. Right now, we are the holders of our gifts, our talents. This has been one of our star programs. Sometimes we look for shelter from external criticism coming from other social spheres. In our case, I can assure you that we really analyze what we do, and by analyzing strengths and weaknesses analysis, I'll conclude by pointing out several weaknesses. First of all, models we've inherited from others are the ones we try to apply and to implement and to reiterate, and we need to fight that. Another weakness is inertia. It's impressive that despite having worked with ALMA for 5 years, if that person that leads it disappears, there's a high probability that that program will disappear. And routines are threatening, are risky. if that innovation situation doesn't improve, it can lose its capability to provide a right answer. It is also true that we have important strengths. We are many and many very diverse. We've discovered the advantages of working in networks. We share tools, we share aims, and that could be a good driving force. And this will provide us with a lot of energy. Threats. I would like to sign a kind of charter that would be presented or submitted to the decision makers so that they could make the best use of it. So education in values is a need that, that is indispensable. So we have people that leave university studies, they become teachers, and they have the same values as their forerunners. Management also, people or staff management. Schools are, in most cases, companies in most of their aspects. And it is true the system is quite rigid, quite fixed. Our system, we provide guidelines, and it leads to stiffness, to rigidity. So even though we face inflexibility, we should foster change and support change. And I finish with this. Our next intuition, our working environment for the immediate future is making schools meeting points. Schools should become meeting points. That's a vision that allows us to build up a new map, a new image of the future school. Meeting point of anything you can think about. Thinking about tradition, about effort, the value of making efforts. Everything can be taken advantage of. So tradition is important, of course, but we need to align this with a future, an unknown future. The learning community is important too. School is not only the teacher, not only the student. Maybe the school should gather the whole tribe and open up the doors widely to families, to parents. I can't remember her name, the mother leader, Coro, that spoke in the first place. So we need to find a balance between formal and non-formal learning. There are many ways of learning that go way beyond the formal timetables. So we should build bridges with other institutions, with private companies, opening up the doors wide so as to find a better answers to the great challenges